Hello, viewers. Today is Friday, November 22nd, 2024. I'm here to share my thoughts and opinions on the latest decision by the Biden administration in basically allowing Ukraine to use the weapons made by America and allowing them to use against Russia to hit deep into the Russian territory. So, on the face of it, it looks as though that this looks like a rational decision because Ukraine was asking for this for the last 1 year or so, and the Biden administration was reluctant originally in allowing them to use these weapons because they thought that it will further escalate the conflict. But nevertheless, in the last 1 week or so, the Biden administration has allowed Ukraine to use the American-made weapons to hit deep into the Russian territory. And as a retaliation to that, Putin had actually used some of the. Originally, it was thought that he has used the intercontinental ballistic missile into Ukraine, but later on we found out that it is not an intercontinental ballistic missile, but it is more like an intermediate ballistic missile that he has used to hit the regions within Ukraine. So, nevertheless, this has created some further escalation on this conflict, which I believe is totally unwarranted. Number one, I do not know why President Biden took this decision now after the elections are over and Kamala Harris has lost this election, and largely due to the fact that people did not like the way that inflation is going up, or inflation was quite high, was the verdict that people gave in the ballot box. And moreover, people also felt like that it is not worth spending so much money for the war um, in the Russian-Ukraine region. So that being the case, I'm kind of surprised that Biden took this decision to further escalate this war. I do not know what is the eventual end game that the Biden administration is thinking by allowing them to use these American-made weapons, because you know that this war started in February 2022. So it's been almost 2 years and 9 months now. And originally, a lot of people thought that Russia would be able to take over Ukraine within the next first couple of weeks. And so at that time, the world was really worried about how Putin can use that to further expand and go into other countries in Eastern Europe. But fortunately, that did not happen. Ukraine was able to hold their own to a large part. Yes, they did lose some territory in the border, but they were able to hold on their own, um, largely due to their own efforts, but also due to some significant effort from nations like US, UK, and other countries that supported Ukraine in terms of money as well as in terms of defense supplies. So, that being the case, we are at a stage now where neither party can win very conclusively. So, that's where we are now before Biden made this decision. So, I don't know why Biden wanted to do this to further escalate the conflict, because we are going to see a new incoming administration, and the incoming president elect Donald Trump had said specifically that he would like to end these endless wars. So we were going, or we are looking forward for some kind of a negotiated settlement between Russia and Ukraine. And that is the only solution I see in this particular conflict, because neither party can win conclusively. That's very clear in the last 2 years and 9 months of conflict. So, so I would have rather had Biden engage in some kind of a diplomatic initiative and try to bring the parties together and try to come up with some kind of a peace initiative where, of course, Ukraine needs to cede some territory based on what they have lost so far. They already lost Crimea during the Obama administration itself. So they have further lost a couple of provinces along the border. And I think they could have started with that kind of a negotiation, and they could have arrived at a peaceful solution to this conflict. Instead, Biden has decided to further escalate this conflict, and that's not going to really help anyone because now Putin is trying to use what they call as his new intermediate ballistic missiles, and it is an experimental one apparently, and he has been hitting Ukraine and the capital city of Kyiv um, on a daily basis the last couple of days. So I think overall, it's a big foreign policy failure in terms of Biden's administration. And I think they are not seeing the pulse of the people. People do not want this war. They do not want to support this war. Granted, both Republicans and Democrats in the Senate has supported funding for this war, funding for providing military assistance and funding to Ukraine. But that doesn't mean it's right. We are at a stage right now where we should work towards a peaceful solution in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, as opposed to trying to provide money or military assistance or military weapons to Ukraine, because that's not going to help the cause. It's only further going to escalate the conflict. So I hope that when the new administration takes over in January 20th, 2025, they would go and at least try to negotiate and try to bring a peaceful resolution to this conflict, because it is in the best interest of the United States and the world that we have peace between Ukraine and Russia for the global economic growth as well. So that's it for me today. I'll come back to you with another program tomorrow. Thanks. Take care.